Fusion reaction in T minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfundable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Price go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just worked.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfundable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation. Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP Money. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. I am flying solo tonight. LA is spending some time with her family, and please send LA some really good vibes. She has been working so hard and just having a well-deserved break for sure. So, and me, I am expecting my third child any minute now. So I may have to jump off the AMA in a haste if the baby is on the way. But we have a lot to go over today. I'm going to try to make it short and sweet. I know most of our AMAs have been over 2 hours. So I'm going to try to get back to, having our hours be, 45 minutes to an hour. I know I want to respect everybody's time, but as we grow and as we, add more and more revenue streams and other projects, we will have to, make sure that everybody is up to date on all that. So, overall market looking pretty good. Was a little bit of a pump. Now we're on a little bit of a drawback. I think, again, this is all the calm before the storm. My guess is, October-ish, we'll really start seeing some new all-time highs, or at least local highs, and then the real bull run happening at the end of the year. So everything is still going according to plan, and that plays into a lot of what we're going to talk about today. Especially in terms of fusion, which again, all the shine has been on Grim Gold and Honor versus Madness, but we'll talk a little bit more about fusion today and a lot of other things. So bear with me as we go through all this. Again, flying solo. I'll try to get through it all. But before we get started, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, that really helps the algorithm and gets the word out to more people. So, all right, up first is a Honor vs. Madness recap. We had a monstrous success with our private sale. So we again, Universe Madness is our new game, but the token is called Grim Gold, and it wrapped up last week with a massive success. So we're gonna give a full breakdown post hopefully after this AMA. But we raised just over $700,000 to pay for development and marketing and everything that goes along with the game, as well as utilizing those funds for responsible treasury management. And with the market the way it is, I mean, we could see the treasury be extremely healthy just from the overall market growth without ever having to spend any of the principal, which is also really powerful in terms of sustainability. Um, Again, we're super pumped about it. Both, the immediate community that got involved and a lot of the expanded community, a lot of new faces in the Grim Gold and Universe Madness circle now, which is great. That will help lead to even more exposure when we're ready. And again, having all the influencers really put in a lot of work to get the word out around the private sale. Those influencers are still part of the community now, so they can help us really scale in October. Um, Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out the game studio tour, it was really, really powerful. So we announced that we're partnering with YGG, and they are a AAA studio building the game out of Thailand. We had a full walkthrough video of their facilities. They have two four-story buildings with over 250 employees. It's just an amazing operation, and we're really honored, pun intended, to be working with them. So please make sure you watch that video if you haven't. It's on the Universe Madness YouTube page. Remember that all the other really cool part of Universe Madness is 10% of all the game revenue will also go back to Fusion. So not only is this really powerful in terms of an opportunity for all that got in. But even if you weren't able to get in, or maybe you don't care about the game, you should care if you are a Fusion participant, because this will be another massive revenue stream back to the protocol. And based on numbers, I mean, again, when we get to where we want to be, it could literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars a day coming back into Fusion. I mean, at the height of Splinterlands and a lot of these other Web3 specific games, not even mentioning Web2, games, which again we have a much heavier focus on Web2. I mean, they were easily pulling in $1 million a day, overall. So I think that the upside potential is massive, and that's just not numbers coming out of thin air. That's actual numbers that we've seen from other games. So the other thing I wanted to say is that the private sale was not the end. So in reality, it's just the beginning. So now we have 2 full months until the TGE, or token generation event. That's when the token will go live for trading, and we have to have a massive rally around that. We're going to initiate a large scale marketing endeavor, advertising and PR, to really get the word out. We're in discussions with one of the most well-known advertising and PR agencies in all of crypto. We have another follow-up meeting with them next week, and they represent layer ones and layer twos, so like blue chip projects that you would know. So that would be huge if we're able to secure that, and get to a whole new audience that we've never really been exposed to, which is not only great for Universe Madness, but it's also great for our franchise as a whole. And so not only are we bringing in crypto specific users, but we're also targeting the overall gaming market as well, which again is a whole new audience that has never had exposure to what we're doing, and that is really bullish for the future. So, all right, let me check my notes. 1 second. All right, so again, we have all the puzzle pieces in place to make sure that TGE is a massive success, and we'll be giving updates along the way over the next 2 months. We'll also be releasing our full tokenomics. A lot of little surprises in store as well. I've been seeing some of the development already, and it's blowing me away. So I can't wait to share all that with you. But right now, the main focus is really to help just build our socials and boost our presence. So whatever all of you can do to help us with that, that would be really amazing. And then once we get the PR firm on board, then we're really able to ramp that up. So, all right, that is it for Universe Madness. Again, I have a few questions that I pulled from Discord. I don't know if we'll be able to get to all the questions today, but if you have another question, please make sure to put it in the live chat as well, and we'll get to it all at the end. But overall, Universe Madness was a massive, success for all of us, and that will really carry over into not only hopefully multiple X's in terms of token price, but also a lot more momentum and volume within our own communities overall. So, all right, moving on now to Fusion. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I'm flying solo again. LA usually is able to help me with the notes while I am able to talk, but it's hard to multitask. So, all right, apologies for the dead air. So, moving on to Fusion. Again, a lot of you that show up to these AMAs and are really engaged, a lot of this doesn't apply to you, but I do think it's important that we just continually go over the long-term vision and what is really happening here. So again, the majority of you really seem to understand the long-term vision, but we continue to get messages from people that really don't. And so, I want to kind of talk about all this so that not only it's out and people can listen to this straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, but also so that all of you that are here on the day to day can help, spread the word as well, and follow up when you see some messages that may be misguided. So, again, we just wanted to refocus on Fusion tonight and remind all of you that there is a very specific plan, and that plan is in motion, even though it may not be happening as fast as we all had hoped. So we said it many times, but we we've never been distracted by partner projects or other parts of the franchise. This is really about building the revenue streams. And again, unless somebody is very business minded, it's hard to explain this to people. And those that are more entrepreneurial or have dealt with real world businesses have a much easier time of understanding. But it's not about jumping to the next new shiny object. It's not about getting distracted. It's about adding revenue streams and building the franchise alongside Fusion to make it even more powerful for the future. So again, I like to make the analogy of, Apple and the iPod. Apple started and got their success originally with home computers, but they became a major, major breakthrough company when they introduced the iPod. Well, if Apple just continued building iPods, they would not be a large company anymore. They'd probably still be a successful business, but they would not be able to scale to where they have. And the reason they've been able to do that is adding other products. Again, the iPhone, that's a whole separate market. I bet when Apple started, they never thought that they'd be building phones, and now they are, and that's their biggest, revenue stream. So that, again, I bring that up just to say, not to compare us to Apple by any means, but just to say that is the mindset of what we're building. So with the game launch, that is a whole new vertical that we don't have exposure to, and can be a major revenue stream. We've also talked about the BSC DEX, and the Mega DEX. Um, you know, Converting all of our DEXs under one roof, where it's a large multi-chain DEX, all under V3 and maybe even now V4, as that technology is coming out. And again, just continually building alongside Fusion, that makes Fusion even more powerful by having all the extra rewards and sustainability funnel into Fusion. So that really is kind of the overall vision. And you know, there are very few people who are complaining on, asking to hear a detailed plan, about how we're going to recover the ecosystem and boost rewards while simultaneously saying we're too focused on other projects we're launching. We can't have our cake and eat it too in the short term. So we have to make these hard decisions that make us way more sustainable in the long term. So those that are asking that question, you have to kind of choose one or the other. And right now we're focused on growing the ecosystem rather than just, maintaining and paying out, in the short term. So, and all of this is part of the well-oiled machine that we have put into place. When you look at all the on-chain data, you know, we're burning more EMP than ever before. The actual overall supply is getting lower. People are still adding to their microgrids, which again is helping to really make the whole ecosystem have a very strong floor. And this is all before we reach a big bull market. I mean, we're essentially planting the seeds now, and we have been over the last 6 months, to really reap all the rewards when the bull run actually happens. So, um, again, I think all of you that are here understand that, but I just want to reiterate it all that everything is connected, and each piece we add onto the mothership helps the mothership grow even that much stronger. So, all right, let me get to my notes here one more second. All right, so we again are every bit as confident as we have ever been that, Fusion is the solution, and that we will recover PEG. Even though it's been a bit of a rough ride in terms of PEG recovery and yield, we are still just laying the foundation. So over time, the entire ecosystem will be back to where we want it to be. And I know, we've been saying that for a while now, but the major difference is that now Fusion is here. When we have said this over the last year, we really didn't have anything in place, um, to justify that. And that's not because we were trying to mislead people. It's just that the reality of the situation was that we had to make EMP no longer inflationary. and we learn from the mistakes that we made in the beginning as a tomb fork, and now transitioning into real yield and, a much more healthy economic model. So, again, this has never been a super short-term overnight process, and we have been fully transparent with that from day one. It will take some time, and in order to do it right, we have to continue to build out everything else because, like we said from day one, we can have the most amazing product on the planet, but number one, if nobody uses it, and number two, if there's not real revenue feeding it, it will not sustain, no matter what we do as a team. That is just the reality. So we have to do things that are in our control, and what is in our control is building other real yield generating things to feed Fusion. And so that is, again, the immediate plan as we continually move forward. And then, we've also talked about the multi-step process. Then we focus on peg recovery. We're already focused on that, but there is a three-step process of, building the ecosystem, making sure we have enough funds coming in. Then we're able to focus on peg recovery. Peg is already looking a bit better over the last few days than it had been. And then once we do recover peg, then we transition into phase two, which is maintaining peg and boosting the APR to where yield and rewards will be much better because now we don't have to funnel the momentum and the capital to peg recovery. We can funnel all that capital and momentum into payouts. And then once that happens, we move into phase three. And phase three is where literally there's no more EMP on the market. We're able to maintain peg indefinitely, and the only way to get into Fusion is by buying a position from somebody else. And that is really when the true value is realized. But again, we just have to get there. So it's a process. Um, all right. Again, just wanted to say, we have a large team and everything is happening simultaneously, but it's a lot of moving parts. So, Jake is working on finalizing the fusion battery that we've talked about a while ago. Hopefully that will be ready, later, hopefully this week. I know we said that last week, but we've just been burning the candle at both ends, and we're almost there. So this battery will be very powerful for not only peg but also the price of e-share. And then the other Jake, again, just so happens, all of our team leads are named Jake. I'm an honorary Jake, but Jake, CEO from Dex Finance, he is the one that's really helping to manage the devs on finishing out the BSC Dex. And then we have a few other devs that are just helping with all the loose ends. Again, what needs to happen in the back end for the mega decks, and coordinating whatever Web3 elements need to be implemented with the game. Also working with the Thailand team, and it's all happening at once behind the scenes. So even if we don't talk about it specifically, we're doing everything we can to move as fast as possible. And it's never one or the other. So please just understand that it's all happening at the same time, and nobody wants it done faster than we do. But the good news is that we have the team and the resources now to pull all of it off. So, all right. Again, I mentioned the battery a little bit. We have some updates hopefully coming. We don't want to release this new battery without the proper documentation. So the battery is finished and tested, and beta testing went great. No issues, but we don't want to release the battery without the proper documentation and the proper game plan of how to utilize this battery to the full potential. So that is one of the reasons why it's been a little more delayed, and LA and I are working on adding this battery to our docks as well, because we want to have that before we release this, because the way the battery works, it can be very, very powerful, and even more powerful if everybody is on the same page about how to use that battery. So that's again just some more transparency on why it has been taking a little longer than we had anticipated. All right, one more second here. All right, so yeah, that again, the fusion battery will be the next rollout, and once we have all those documents and the proper way how to utilize that battery, I think the community will really get excited over that, and it really addresses a lot of key things that some of the skeptics have said about fusion, and ultimately gives more use case to not only eShare but also EMP. So that I'm hoping will be a catalyst event for the next round of peg momentum, and we have everything in place to make that happen. So just keep an eye out for an update on that. Once we update the docs, we'll most likely do a walkthrough on an AMA. So, Monday or Thursday of next week would be probably around the time that we would want to get this out and into the wild, so to speak. So, all right, that really is everything with Fusion. Again, if anybody has questions, I will answer in the live chat. Just let me know. Um, but we're super close. Again, all the beta testing is done, all the development is done. We just want to make sure that when we do launch this, that there is a very clear understanding of how the battery works, and how we as a community can utilize this battery to really jumpstart peg recovery again. And again, in a perfect world, this battery alone can get us back to peg. So that's how powerful it is. We haven't been hyping it up, unnecessarily, and we want to make sure that everything is ready to roll. So, all right, just some other quick notes about safety, and then I will get to questions. So, again, with Universe Madness, a lot of scammers came out of the woodwork, and you know, we see this unfortunately getting worse and worse and worse. So I want to go over some things. Again, LA has really been the one that was contacting a lot of you, so she has some notes for me here as well to read to all of you. But it came to our attention during the Universe Madness sale that there were one or two major impersonators that were trying to scam, both our group members and attempting to get people to send their funds or connect to another website. So scammers are often really sneaky, and will put the real username of the person. So when you see the bio on both Discord and Telegram, anybody can put a username of what they want. That's why there could be, two people named Bob. Then their username is Bob. But the one thing that you have to look at is the actual display. I'm sorry, the actual username. So the display name can be duplicatable, but the username cannot be. So you can find that in the settings. It usually has an @ sign in front of it, and that is the specific username. So that is one thing all of you really need to be aware of, because that is how you can tell who is real and who isn't. However, it should never even get to that point, because, after, you get this particular message, if they're asking for funds or asking you to connect to another website, then that is another major red flag that even if it appears to be LA or myself, that is an impersonator. So we saw a particular message that was passed along to us after being in a Facebook group, and we wanted to highlight some of the tireless things that we did in order to prevent anyone from being scammed ahead of this. So, we can all learn moving forward, and this is really meant to help all of you to avoid this in the future. So, we said all along that number one, you all should be messaging us rather than relying on us to message you. And that again is really important because had you read, the documents, um, it would have said that on it as well. So the whole idea is that we all have to do better and be more vigilant on what we're actually doing and what we're actually asking everybody to do, because we have really done everything we can to protect everybody, but they have to be able to read and follow the right instructions. So LA put in two places on the form, both in the description and on the blurb page for that pops up once you submit the form, to DM her and at least add her as a contact. Again, all of that was the actual username, not the display name. And had you done that and started a conversation, then there would have been no way to be fooled through the process. So, and with over 200 people messaging and Telegram, even blocking a lot of the back and forth as they thought, that it was a scam. We had a lot to get through over the pre-sale, so it was nonstop from both sides, and obviously we're just bringing all this up now to try to protect all of you in the future. And throughout the entire day of the sale, we were posting every hour or two, warning, that to follow all the official links and never to respond to copycat scammers. And obviously nobody would ever ask you for money or to click on an alternate link. So just again, that is really the number one way to protect yourself. If it sounds fishy, it 99% of the time it is. So between Ella and I, we spent 18 to 20 hours each DMing one by one for those 2 days of the sale, and overall it was a really a great way of how it all rolled out, and we sold literally every bit of the pre-sale, other than I think 5 mystery boxes are remaining. So if you want to do an OTC with us, then just reach out. But we really raised the perfect amount, that we didn't raise too much to not have a lot of buying pressure on the TGE, but enough that we can really do a lot with the funds to market and continually build out the game. So, alright, let me see if there was anything else before we get to a few other questions. Oh yeah, another really great thing to look at too is the chat bubbles. So when you go to our Telegram, especially, and Discord too, but in Telegram, when you look at a chat bubble, you can literally see in the upper right-hand corner that it says team member or admin. So anytime you get confused, or maybe you just want to send us a DM first, double check to see if it says team member in the upper right hand corner, and that is something that cannot be faked. So, again, just remember it has to be in the official Telegram or Discord. Again, there's a lot of fake Telegrams as well. So, just again, it's we're in the wild wild west. So I know it's overwhelming. It sounds like a lot. Um, but once you really learn the process, it's very, very rare that you actually get scammed. So, again, to find the official Telegram and Discord, make sure you're on all of our socials. We have them here on this YouTube in the description, or you can find it on the main page of our YouTube as well. That links to our Twitter and our Telegram and our Discord. And last but not least, again, we will never, ever, 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 ever message you asking us to send money. So even if everything appears legit, it's the display name, it's the username, it's everything. If I or LA or any of our team asked you for money, that is 100% a scam. So just again, if it sounds fishy, then don't do it. And maybe it is legitimate, but confirm that in an open forum where scammers aren't going to be able to respond to you there either. And, again, we'll never ask you to send money. We'll never ask you to click an alternate link. We were simply just confirming your allocation for the HVM sale. So, all right. I hope this helps. Again, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I know there was a lot of people asking, and we absolutely hate seeing people get scammed because not only does that hurt you, but it also hurts the community. We've said this many times before. I mean, yes, if you get scammed, your potential crypto life savings is gone. But what happens is the scammers will actually dump all those tokens on our heads as well. So it's a double whammy. You are losing out on everything, and then the community also gets hurt because the scammers end up selling. So just please do everything you can to be vigilant and help prevent this moving forward. So, and if anybody has questions, about it, please feel free to jump on any of our platforms and ask, and report the scammers as well. We had a few people realize that they were scammers, but just ignored them. Please don't ignore them. Just make sure you report them as scammers through Telegram or Discord as well. So, all right, we have a few questions here. Give me one more second. All right, moving on to the Q&A. All right, I have 3 questions here from our Q&A. Again, it'll be a bit of an abbreviated version, but if I don't get to it, please let us know in the live chat, and then I'll go over the live chat at the end. But the first question is, can you please explain how to calculate sack point market value? So, yeah, I mean, again, on a live stream, it's hard to go over the math without looking at it, but we'll post the math as well. But sack points are calculated based on the peg price. So you have to look at what the peg value is. Again, the 4,000 to 1 ratio to EMP. I'm sorry, to Ethereum. That will give you today's peg value. So again, let's just do basic round numbers so people understand. So if Ethereum is $4,000, and again, 4,000 to 1 ratio, that means that peg value of EMP would be $1. So that being said, if today's current value of EMP is only 10 cents, that means the peg value is, 10 times what it should be. So that is how sack points are calculated. Sack points are based on what you're actually getting credit for in sacrificing into Fusion. So again, it's a bit complicated, and we're working on a way to do this by showing it like without having to do the math on your own. But as of right now, you still have to look at the actual math. So if you're not good at math, I understand how it can be confusing. Yeah, Neil says, another great way is to look at the percentages on the EMP site. So if you go to the the original EMP site, EMP.Money, at the top where it says peg, it will tell you the percentages as well. So that will also help for those that aren't as math savvy. And then last but not least, like I said, I'll post the actual calculation after this in our socials that you can go by. We may even be able to do some sort of spreadsheet. But ultimately, we're going to hopefully have this coded into Fusion itself. So you'll know what the current SAC point market value is, and that will help you really understand, what is a good deal and what isn't a good deal on, on the marketplace. So, all right, hopefully that explained that question. All right, the next question is, can you please explain the team's plan to capitalize on Q4 and its typical strength in regards to Fusion and boosting EMP ecosystem? So yeah, I mean, that's a great question. The capitalizing on the Q4 bull run, again, we've always said October is usually when things really start to heat up. We're already there. I mean, we have all the puzzle pieces in place to capitalize on this. We have a very healthy treasury that is yielding. A lot of that yield has direct exposure to Ethereum. EMP itself has amazing, exposure to Ethereum. It's essentially fractionalized ETH. And even now, we still have about $1 million of LP or dollar value in the LP. So at these levels, you know, if not if, but when Ethereum goes back to all-time highs, I mean, you're looking at a minimum of a 2x on that alone. And by October, the end of Q4, we could see a $9,000, $10,000 Ethereum, which would be a 3 or 4x from here. So that is really powerful. And the answer is we're already exposed to all that. So, we don't plan on liquidating anything early. We have a great treasury management plan. Everything's been yielding. And then, the other end of the coin is the volume. So, Pulse and Cedar Swap's been really struggling. I mean, the TVL on Manta is just drying up. And no matter what we build or what we do, if there's no volume, that really hurts the protocol. And Pulse has been a little better for sure, but still struggling. So, no matter what we build, if there's no volume, then that is where we get our fees from. So that is also part of the Q4 plan, is that when the market is pumping again, that usually brings a lot more volume to everything that we're doing. So the more volume, the more fees, the more we're able to produce, and the more rewards go into Fusion. So, everything is in place. We're just waiting. We have it's like we're on the dock fishing, and we have our line in the water. We're just waiting for, the big fish to bite. So, and again, I think Q4 will be the beginning of that for sure. So, all right, let me see what else. All right, the last question here is, can you please explain why you don't migrate Detonator to Fusion and only have the EMP side of the LP sack directly into Fusion while allowing the users to receive the E side in their wallets? So, a couple of things. We're looking at everything that we can to address Detonator and all legacy contracts. I know a lot of you have been wanting V3. That is still something that we are hoping to get out, although we may have a better solution than even V3 that we're working on. So we're still in a bit of a holding pattern there. But the biggest issue is I think that people think that there is more value in Detonator than there really is. And we have said this all along that, Detonator will live and die by the pool balance. And the pool balance is what matters, not, not the investment number or contribution number or the 365 reward. So no matter what we do, if there's not enough money in Detonator to meet those liabilities, then that's it. So to answer this question directly, you know, uh, the fact that we can't just liquidate everybody's LP because there really isn't LP in there. There's LP in the overall pool balance, but it's not based on individual users. And if we divided everything out based on what is actually in the pool, then there would be a lot less per user for what is actually payable, so to speak. So it's really, really complicated, and I think from the very beginning, people just still didn't understand how Detonator worked and what Detonator was. They got excited over, the potential, and maybe over invested, and now, they're wanting to be helped when it wasn't the fault of the team or the protocol or anything else. So we're not going to leave people high and dry, but we can't kill the overall ecosystem just to try to pay out Detonator on funds that were never really due to begin with. So all that being said, we're working on a very detailed plan. This person said, why don't we just give the EMP side as sack points and the E side as rewards. I mean, we're looking at kind of a variation of that, but we also don't want to over dilute, people in Fusion already. Because had you done what we had said all along, and by all means, I mean, there's 2 years of voice recordings. I would love for somebody to take the time and go back and go through them. But we have always, always, always said that Detonator was a game. It's not an annuity. It's not an investment. You are playing an ROI style game, and that you always, always need to have your core positions in the farms. And had you done that with EMP ETH LP being in the farm, uh, you would have a perfect position in Fusion now. So, again, we're not here to press the buttons for people. We're not here to convince anybody on what they want to do or should do. We're simply here to give, a piece of code on the internet that people can choose whether or not to interact with. And then we have to now build, actual businesses that support that. So that is what we're doing, and Fusion is very healthy, even though it doesn't appear that in terms of rewards or peg. The foundation is here, and it's only a matter of time, and it will happen, overnight, where we see the peg and reward values really start skyrocketing, and by then it'll be too late because we'll be in a full supply shock and people will never be able to buy at the levels that we have today. So again, that's not financial advice. I'm just trying to be as open and honest as I can be. And again, it was never our intention to, mislead anybody, and we never did in terms of Detonator. Now we just need to figure out a way to get Detonator and all the legacy contracts behind us in a very fair manner to where we don't have the drama associated with it anymore. And that is definitely part of our immediate plans moving forward. So, all right, I think that's all the questions I have here. Let me look through the live chat. If there's something I didn't answer, please feel free to type in the chat as well. All right. Mega Buddy says, "Where is the battery?" We went over that. It will be here hopefully. Uh, you know, I would say by Monday at the latest, maybe Thursday. It really just depends on when LA and I can have time to update the docs before we release it. And with the baby on the way and LA visiting family, we're gonna do our best to do it quickly. It's just me and her and I have been burning the candle at both ends. So it's not a development delay, it's an LA and AJ delay. So we'll get that out ASAP, we promise. So all right, Neil says, was bad timing for me with the private sale. Will there be future opportunities to get in later on? So yeah, unfortunately, the best deal overall was through the private sale in terms of Grim Gold. However, we are looking at maybe a very small public sale just prior to actually launching. Um, we're looking at some options, maybe with even some launch pads, just to get the bigger the word out, so to speak, more of a marketing play rather than a monetary play. And again, if we did that, it'd be a very small amount, uh, just to sell out and build the hype. But as of right now, again, just based on what we've put together, there will be no other opportunity other than the public sale when the token actually goes live to start trading. So, and that's good for everybody because we want the buying pressure to happen on day one so that the token is looking healthy and the chart looks good and people are excited and want to be involved. So there is, however, I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have about 5 mystery boxes remaining, which is pretty amazing that we sold out of all 120 so far. So if you do have 5K or more, again, still a $10,000 cap, because we don't want to have too much supply in one person's hands. Send me a DM and we can work that out. But they're going fast. And once those are gone, that's it. Again, we're never ever printing or producing more of those NFTs ever again. And once we're at the 125, that's it. Not one card additional. So all right. Yeah, my journey asks about DAAS V3. Again, we're we're working on it. Again, whether it's V3 or just another way of making Detonator more attractive, or just sunsetting it, and getting people paid out as best that we can, and then moving on. We're looking at all those options right now. All right, I think yeah. Mouse asks, are we going to take legal action against L1X? So yeah, that was one thing I didn't have in the notes that we wanted to discuss a little bit. I guess we can talk more about it on Monday, but as of right now, L1X has essentially breached their contract with us. They announced a new DEX that is launching, and based on our raise and our contribution to L1X, we were guaranteed to be the premier DEX. They still haven't given us the code that we need to build it, and the new DEX, again, this is my personal opinion, but I would bet to say that it is just the L1X DEX with a new skin or new graphics, so to speak, and it was built by Kevin, or at least the L1X developers, because they know the code in and out and can build it. So again, now giving us access to build something and then building it on their own is extremely nefarious in my view. So I don't know if we're looking at legal action. Again, we're in the wild west of crypto, but we're looking at what we can do to make it right. So it's just L1X is just a complete shit show at this moment. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, nobody has more at stake with that than we do. So we're trying to do everything we can to salvage, everybody's, positions in L1X. But unfortunately, it's all out of our control at this point. And we have all the documentations, videos, you know, literally years of back and forth on fighting them tooth and nail to be able to deliver what we want to deliver. So if push comes to shove, we will absolutely release all that information. But right now, we're just trying to do everything we can to still salvage, the relationship, if that is even a word to use. So, all right, hopefully that clears up for that. And again, I mean, based on the audit and everything else with L1X as a whole, there is no possible way I would be putting any money in to the DEX, without getting a proper audit, having the code open source, everything that they said they would do from the first place. So, and as of right now, the only audit I've ever seen for L1X had major, major holes. So take that for what it's worth. All right, let me see. Yeah, Mail, thank you, posted a great formula for sack points. Again, I'll put that on our socials as well. All right, I think that's it. Let me keep going through the notes here, or the live chat. Yep, thoughts on Zeus decks. Elliot, yeah, that again. You can go back and listen to everything I just said. Oh, perps. Okay, yeah, that's another question. So, yeah, we have decided to pause perps for the short term, just because it's part of our migration with the mega decks. We are hoping to have the perps platform be multi-chain as well. So, just while we build all that out, and based on all of our time and resources, we thought it was better that we just pause perps at the moment so that we can focus on this other build out, rather than adding to perps and then having to build out all over again when we go to the multi-chain solution. So just bear with us. No update on when perps will be open again, but when it does reopen, you will have a lot more options. So that's super bullish. All right, awesome. I think that's it. We got through it all. So, all right, hopefully, and we're right at an hour. So, appreciate you bearing with me today. Again, no LA, so losing my voice a little bit, but I think that really covered all we needed to. We will have another update on Monday, as always. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. And that's it. Hopefully, I'll be have a third kid by Monday when we have our AMA, or maybe a little bit crazy if they do come, but we'll make it work. So Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, good night, good day. We'll see you on Monday.